I would never say anything looks laid.
Like literally, is it laid?
Oh.
I wasn't speaking figuratively. I was
Yeah.
literal.
No. Okay. As long as you understand, I'm not gonna respond like that. We good. You gotta come over a little bit. Ah. Did you grind it out today? Did you? And today's gonna be a doozy of a topic.
No, it's not.
What's up? Hanging with the Joneses, episode number 45. Almost to 50. A couple of weeks away from our 1 year anniversary doing this.
Really?
Yeah.
When's the anniversary?
The first weekend in April. But yeah, I'm Rashad.
I'm Kesha.
And today, man, Kirk Franklin and his son put him on blast on the interwebs. And in case you haven't heard it, I'm gonna pull it up. There's gonna be some profanity, so if you don't like the cursing, just skip ahead.
Cover your ears.
You know,
Close your eyes.
cover thine ears.
Cover thy sin.
Okay, if you think I'm really disrespectful, let me say it like this. When your bitch ass starts getting disrespectful, you need to get your skinny motherfucking ass back out the goddamn way before I put my foot in your ass. Because I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. Shut the fuck up. I'm old. What's up? I will punch your neck, nigga. Don't you ever disrespect me. I did it. He just hung up the phone? I'll break your neck. Is that a threat?
That was Kirk Cousins' kid out. Let me just get to the following apology. Hold on.
Many of you know I have an older son named Rashad Franklin. In May, he'll be 33. For many years, we have had a toxic relationship with him as a family. We've tried for many years through counseling, through therapy, to try to rectify this private family matter. Recently, my son and I had an argument that he chose to record. I felt extremely disrespected in that conversation, and I lost my temper. And I said words that are not appropriate. And I am sincerely sorry to all of you. I sincerely apologize. I want you to know as a father that during that conversation, I called the family therapist and got that therapist on the phone to try to help. He never played that part of the recording. I'm not perfect. I'm human and I'm going to make mistakes and I'm trying to get it right. Please keep me and my family in your prayers.
What's going on here? You know, because for them to get to this point where his son would feel a need to do this. And funny thing, like I was talking to Dez, and Dez pointed this out. Dez was like, yo, like fam he was on the phone and recording with another phone.
Yeah.
So like he planned this whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which was kind of crazy.
And then somebody in the background was laughing.
Yeah, and it looks like he also had like a tablet too.
Yeah.
So he had the phone, his phone, and the tablet recording the whole thing. So it was like a very like concerted effort to.
I noticed that too.
To do that. So
and the people who he was around that was laughing at this.
Yeah. So they was like, yo, it felt like let's see if we can bait him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I looked at this the comments. Look at the comments. Some were saying that Kirk was right. Some were saying Kirk Franklin was wrong. Some was saying that this is the reason I don't go to church because this is how church folks act. And I agree and disagree with all of them. Right. No, because I look at it's more than just he cursed out his son and his son cursed him out. What's behind it? God told me a long time, stop looking at the superficial stuff. That was just the surface level of stuff. What is down there in that root that is causing this division? What is it that make a son say, I have to record my father cursing me out? Then also I look at, if he wasn't Kirk Franklin, would this been recorded? And then, for people who say that Kirk Franklin was wrong, not saying wrong or right, but how many times you have went off on somebody?
Yeah.
If you have never thrown that stone, then you're free to like, Kirk Franklin, you wrong. But if you ever went off on someone in your mind out loud, whether it was your children, the next door neighbor, I don't think you have a right to throw a stone and say that it was inappropriate. It's some deeper issues that has been is go more than a father and son fussing up with each other out. But also, if this wasn't Kirk Franklin, this would be almost any black family, any white family, any Asian. Am I lying?
Nah, man. I think
We have sat around and told stories like one time my mother hit me.
yeah, like yeah, just the audacity of throw stones in glass houses.
Yeah.
Because we not really dealing with it. And then there's
No, because your issues was private because you're not a celebrity.
that too. Yeah.
When you said what you said to the men on the corner to your children, and I'm using this in general, not just saying me and him, that wasn't recorded.
Or even like,
or if it was, you ain't a celebrity, so you ain't gonna get 50 million likes.
Yeah, like nobody cares about me because nobody knows me. Mm-hmm. Or even like when when his children was talking to him, so I thought it up too. Yeah. And talking about how like, yo, like you could have easily just not did this. You know what I'm saying? And basically saying it's 2 times every story. And he was, like, and basically, and the word that kind of got me was like, he's saying like, yeah, I'm not coming back. Like, I'm done. I'm not coming back. You stole my daddy and you don't do nothing with the lifestyle you've been blessed with. So like, for me being grown, like I don't see me being like 32, 33 years old saying that my daddy was like, you stole my daddy from me.
See,
like,
so that's what goes down deeper.
Yeah,
it's not just the cursing each other out. Look, avoid that. That was just symptoms. Yeah, was with some abandonment issues, some feelings of rejection. Yeah, that's maybe the deeper issue. And then even I look at the feeling of rejection, abandonment, and Kirk Franklin role. If the church had to do with kind of that abandonment, his child fed, meaning, and we can attest to sometimes when you're in church, like you have heard, and I'm sure we all heard, like pastor children could be the worst. Yeah. And I just look at that because even though when you go to a certain level, you don't have time to be a family person.
Unfortunately. When
you're in church and Kirk Franklin, if you witnessing to the people, unfortunately, you witnessing to the people, that become your job and you kind of almost expect it to not be there for your family. Your family's good. How they going to be good when you're not there to make sure they're good? God got them. Make sure people's good. And so I just kind of wonder if part of it was that him chasing his dreams, him doing his ministry, kind of also left that hold in. Yeah, I was there from the beginning.
Yeah, and even so let's kind of talk about that because like even when we was talking about this, I was like the issue really like the thing that came out, of course, is just the thing that came out. That's not the real discussion. Like the real discussion is how we've been not even taught, but we've been kind of trained or conditioned to look at church from a couple different lenses, and that's it. So when it comes to, especially like comes to the minister, to the person that is doing the upfront service, or even behind the scenes, the leader, like their devotion and time is first to the church. Now, even though we can say like, yo, it's God first, then family, then church. It's hardly ever presented like that. It's spoken like that, but it's not presented like that. Because you'll see where you'll have said minister, said person, and they're always at church. Mm-hmm. Kids are doing whatever. Wife is not feeling a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Or they're putting all their energy into this, and other things are lacking. Mm-hmm. But they're at church. Because it's under the guise of ministry, people in the church don't see it as an issue because basically who you want to service to, you're in service to them, even though they'll masquerade it as, oh, like you're being in service to God. Mm-hmm. But on the front,
you up there preaching, prophesying, your children are where?
Yeah, they're probably in the back humping somewhere. Right. So like you don't even know. So like
you do all this great work. But and that it's just funny because I told someone this just this week. The church, and when I say the church, I don't mean that every church does this. When we're part of the church, we're part of the kingdom. So when God comes, it's the church. It's not Mount such and Ebenezer this, Koji. It's not that we're the church. The church are going to have to repent and apologize for breaking up families. Just for this right here. That because you're called to a certain, when God called you to be a certain level, which no matter what level you called, it's still servant. No matter how we try to put bishop, pastor, reverend, minister,
Servant.
it's still a servant. You're still serving. But even the fact that when you accept those positions, you're expected to do more for the kingdom and kind of leave you. And when you first was made minister, I had a problem with it because I'm like, okay, so where your family come in and all this, So that's the first I did look at. But then, and when people put into, see, this is why I don't go to church, because this is how Christians act. I look at, if you're a believer, you are still part of the problem. So it's not just because Kumo J act like that.
Wow.
So I know I took it. So now that's the problem. If you're a part of that setting, you're the problem. Now also look at, I just told you, I don't think church is perfect because it's a hospital. It's made up of imperfect beings, including me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not perfect, so I'm gonna have errors. I'm gonna have mistakes. So is Rashad. But when you have those same issues at work, what do? You go back the next morning. You don't say, because of work, I don't go back to work no more. Even if you don't believe in the government, when you get the stimulus check, you ain't going to say, I don't want that, devil. Take it back. What you going to say? The Lord done blessed me. You understand? So I feel like sometimes people pick and choose when it comes to the church. I can't do that because church people. But when other people act up in your life, when you have your boo-boo who's acting up and being all violent, I need to stay with him. I need to stay with her. So I feel like it's just another way to push yourself away from religion or for spirituality. If that's not the requirement in all your relationships, you gotta look at that. It's not the church. Maybe there's some hurt there. Also, I hate the theory of it's always the black church. There are Catholic churches who are out here because they pope and their pastors and rabbis are sleeping with children. We don't emphasize that enough. But someone said something in the black church. See, the church done So I look at Kirk Franklin as, just because of his position, he's still a man. He's still a man. He's still human. Another saying, like, he put his pants on. One day got the sun. Despite his calling, what person in the Bible didn't have a flaw? I'll wait. Other than Jesus. So why do you expect for believers not to have especially, I feel like Kirk was really transparent from the get-go. Like, I messed up. I messed up over time. It wasn't like one of these ones who kind of put on this facade. And
be honest, like, if I offend anybody, I apologize.
Yeah. Kirk said from the day one, like, I messed up. So to me, this wasn't like oh my gosh, Kirk Franklin out there cursing. It was like, Dad, they hurt. They're hurt. I hope that counseling, and then hearing his part, if it's true, saying that he had the counselor come in, I'm like, that his son is so far hurt, he doesn't want to heal.
Nah, he just want to create chaos. It seems, allegedly.
Chaos, or is he speaking through his hurt?
But still, even his hurt still is creating chaos.
Yeah, okay, I could see that. But I see it's just hurt. It's just hurt. I don't see as Kirk Franklin was wrong. I don't see that as his son was wrong. I think in some way they was right. Because maybe now, because this is out and being exposed, like we're supposed to be exposed, now if we expose into other believers, now it's the time for the believers, his close people, to come in and help. To come in and pray. Maybe come in and fast for him. Come in and say, brother, I got your hand. Let's pray about this.
I feel you, but I'm pretty sure that his people already knew what was going on. I'm pretty like his confidants, his people that are around him, like people that really know them, like they been knew. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I feel like could be like a hitting rock bottom point, or like a breaking point. You know what I'm saying?
But even with that, okay, I agree with you. I believe maybe his confidants knew, but doesn't mean the people, his friends, knew. You know what I mean? So you might have this level where, okay, these are my people. This is my I tell my people. These are the people I roll with.
I feel
but then other people you consider friends, you're like,
Yeah, I feel you. But I feel like the people who should know already knew.
And maybe they were intimidating.
Yeah.
And it could be, and this is just speculation. This could be best. So you don't know how far he let them intervene, or how far they were willing to.
Yeah, because a lot of times when it comes to these situations, like this is y'all business,
Yeah.
So like I'm not trying to offend, or I'm not trying to end on the rail. If they depending on who he has around them, I'm not trying to
Mess up my money.
mess up my money. So
Mess up my ministry
yeah,
for y'all.
yeah.
My
So
name being the video.
no, I'm out here trying to take sides. Like, nah, he cut me off. So that, and I hope that's not the case, because if that is the case, a lot of times, especially when it comes to people who make money and who is at the top of the chain, like I got a bunch of people around me, he's not gonna be honest with me. So that could, again, just another scenario.
And then I just watched this with Bishop T.G. Jakes, and kind of like you don't laugh, Tyler Perry and Medea's kind of say this, but also in your surroundings. Bishop T.B. Jakes say, know who's your confidant. Those your people. Those your ride die. Those your people I could be transparent with. Like, yo, this is such and such. And they go like, no, you wrong, dog. Then I forget it's the Nexa, but Nexa is kind of your people like, oh, they only support you because you have interests.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in this. We're going to do it together. Then it's the next level of people who were, only reason I'm riding with you because we don't like that person or we don't like that issue. I don't have no stake in this. I just don't like that person. And you don't neither. And I feel like in your circle, this is the same thing. Even though he had this relationship, he has to discern the season of those friendships.
Yeah.
And not to say he didn't have confidants, not to say he didn't have someone that was like, yo, back up. It still takes two people.
Yeah, and and that goes for his son as well.
Yeah.
Especially seeing how,
Absolutely.
he had people around him that was basically in the background,
Cheering
kikiing
him
and
on.
laughing and stuff. They didn't care about his true well being, because that's really his people. They wouldn't be like, yo, put your dad on blast. I'm grown.
So?
You know what I'm saying? I'm fully grown. I've had disputes and issues with both my parents over the years. I will never put them on blast for like there's no need for that. If we can't settle and resolve things, as me being the younger adult of this in this relationship, and my parents being of course my parents, then why am I going to try to blast them? You know what I'm saying?
Think that's emotional intelligence.
That's whack.
And then look at the hurt.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying this is an excuse. I'm not saying. I'm just saying could be a reason. But I think we both agree that it's something deeper. But even talking about if he having friends in the background like laughing and stuff, and to me, I'm hearing him laughing. I'm like, straight from hurt. It's a coping mechanism. He doesn't feel that way. He's really hurt, but he's trying to. His coping skill is I'm gonna laugh this all to make it seem like I'm not hurt. I can't imagine that he's not, especially the father of like, you took my father. He's hurt. But the people in his circle, the one at least that we heard, are kind of like big ups to him for putting his father out there. I bet they won't put their parents out there. Where is it?
Nah, because their parents ain't nobody.
Or the parents be doing the stuff that Kirk Franklin was saying. Boy, I would think your
Yeah.
That mumble talk, that in your teeth talk, like you.
Yeah,
some of these parents let their parents didn't find out that was them laughing. They might have got whooped.
Yeah, for real. That's the part that kind of like I had to kind of step back and really just look at, like, yo, like there's so much in this that was said but wasn't said at all. This the amount of hurt on both sides, especially when it comes from so I'm gonna speak to this as a son and as a father. So as a son, there's been situations where I know I pissed my dad off. You know what I'm saying? Like I shouldn't have did that. So excuse me, I'm trying my best to understand as a son, like how should I approach this situation? And as a father, there's been times when my children have pissed me off, and I've had to realize and understand that I need to approach this from a certain standpoint that gives me the ability to make this a teachable moment, but also to know and understand, like, yo, like I'm really upset about this, and with both of them, from what I'm seeing and hearing, both of them were so hurt that they both broke. You know what I'm saying? And neither one of them at that time really knew how to deal with the situation, and neither one of them wanted to be like, yo, I can't engage in this. And that's the thing that really pissed me off, because when somebody pokes so long, you be like, yo, like I gotta say something. And then on top of that, like when somebody tries to bait you into a situation, to know that you're gonna react a certain way, like yo, like I hate that even more.
But this is history, so this wasn't the first time.
Of course not.
So I just wonder what made you record now, because he said, this is a history. So I was just kind of, why record this now and release this now? This is not. It's clear that this is not the first time. But even going back to when someone try to bait you, you give them some right to people to enslave you.
Oh yeah.
Because if I could say do that and cause you to do, it's like you're a puppet. So guess what I'm going to do every time I want attention, when my feelings hurt, or I'm going to poke that button just to watch the show. So in the same time, he used his dad, and his dad was his puppeteer. Whether it came kind of emotional, he knew what to say to get his father. And it doesn't show the beginning of it. I heard some speculation that he asked his father for money, or I'm heard different things, but it doesn't say exactly. Did it say like where does it start?
He and Kirk didn't talk about this.
Yeah. So when the video plays, it starts in the middle of the conversation. So I don't know what happened.
It sounds like at the end of the conversation.
Well, but I'm saying the beginning was in there.
No, not at all.
So I don't know what led up to this point.
Especially there was a whole him trying to hit up his family counsel and all this other stuff, trying to get a third party in it and all that stuff. So if allegedly if that happened, and of course none of that's there.
Yeah. So I just think healing. It has to come, and this is what the thing. They ain't counsel. Why? Counseling only work as much as you want it to work. That's like a relationship.
Yeah, explain
you can
that.
be that's like a relationship. You can be the perfect person, but you with a partner who's not the perfect. It's not going to work. So with counseling, I can't, and I have a lot. Sometimes parents bringing their kids into counseling, fix them. I can fix them, but I'm still sending them back into a broken system. So what do you think is going to happen when they return to the broken system? They're going to revert back to it. They're going to revert. So even my big pet peeve, when couples come, or one person of the couple come to me, I want to learn communication skills. Okay, for who? Like, is there a problem with work? Or, no, I want to learn how to talk to my spouse. This is why it's my pet peeve. Communication is it's two. Now, if you have a problem communicating in several milieus, that's different. But if you just tell me, I want you to teach me how to communicate to my spouse, how when the spouse is not here? So I can teach you perfect communication. You bring it back home and your spouse will understand because he wasn't part of the process. So I can't necessarily help you communicate to your spouse if your spouse is not there to participate in the exercise.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can don't speak. I can tell you all the skills and you go back and use it and like, none of it worked. Well, duh. Because you got the healing, not him or not her. So that's going back to counseling. Counseling only work if you let it work. You have to do the work. From this, I don't know if they done the work. Because also, if you go to any AA or substance abuse treatment, relapse is part of the plan. I don't know, was it working before and this was just a relapse? Or it just wasn't working?
Yeah.
But I think some deep counseling, prayer, going to God, open up his support, like, I need you. How do you deal with this? And some real heart-to-heart talk without offense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. I'm tired of talking about this. This was exhausting. Yeah, but like, yo,
sad.
yeah, I hate y'all. Like, you know,
really
I hate seeing that, especially like, you know,
The black
they always been
I
trying
didn't
to,
like it.
on both sides. Even people saying how like, you know, we should be, you know, always trying to support the black man, I support his story. Like, yo, both sides. It's like, I really wish the best for both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been a son, and I am a father, so I understand both of these sides of this story. Yeah. Anyway, if you stay this long, you are the real MVP. Love for you guys to like, share, and subscribe. Try to say that at the top. We just got right into it.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell, man. Trying to get to 500 on this on the YouTube channel. If you listen to us on any other streaming service, make sure you like and rate us 5 stars, man. We need that just to get our things bumped up to the in the podcast rankings. That'd be amazing. Also, if you want to support us, Hang with the Joneses, patreon.com/Hang with the Joneses. We got a couple tiers there. We will do extra content as soon as people start to give. Other than that, that's all we got, man. Make sure, Falcon Winter Soldier will be starting this week, every Friday. Grinding that out with Dez, man. Other than that, hope y'all have a great week.